Hey NFL fans, this is Gary Greene, longtime sports handicapper and professional sports bettor for the past 35 years here in Las Vegas. And this is your Gary Wins video, Week 14, Thursday night prime time TV game of the week. And it's probably the best game of the card, as we have the Green Bay Packers at 9-3, traveling to take on the Detroit Lions, who are 11-1 with the best record in the NFL. And right now, the Lions come in with a 2-game lead over the Packers, but just 1-game lead over the Minnesota Vikings, as this is by far the best division in the NFL. The line for this game is the Detroit Lions minus 3.5. The total is 51. And this will be the second time around matchup. The first time Detroit went into Green Bay and Lambeau Field and came out of there with a nice 24-14 victory. Surprisingly, Green Bay had 411 total yards in that game, but they were fighting back the whole way. As for Detroit, they only had 261, but they took their foot off the gas early in the second half when the game started to get away from the Green Bay Packers, and the Lions had built a nice 3-touchdown lead. But in that game, Green Bay suffered 10 critical penalties. Green Bay fumbled the ball 3 times. They were fortunate to recover all 3. But in the game, Goff was almost perfect at 18 for 22 for 145 total yards. He had 1 touchdown, no interceptions, and he was sacked 1 time. Now, the game started out flying high. Green Bay, 14-play drive, 63 yards, but they had to settle for a field goal, which was not good. Then the Detroit Lions followed that up with a 13-play drive, 70 yards, and they got a touchdown. But then they both went back-to-back missing field goals. So, again, poor start by Green Bay, even though they were moving the ball well. Then Detroit goes on a 10-play drive, 55 yards and a touchdown. They go up 14-3. It looks like it's going to go halftime 14-3, but nope. Jordan Love throws a pick six, and all of a sudden, instead of going to halftime close enough, 14-3, not a good score, but close. Now it's 17-3. My bad. It was 17-3 at halftime. Now, Green Bay, as I said, could not recover as Detroit got the second half kickoff, went right down the field, and 9 plays, 71 yards. Then they got a touchdown. Then it was 24-3. So after that, it was a real conservative play calling by Detroit. They were just trying to grind clock and run out the game, and they were able to do that. But since that game, folks, the Green Bay-Detroit teams have scored this. Detroit, first off, 26, 52, 24, and 23 the last 4 games against their competition. Green Bay has scored 20, 38, and 30 points since that game against their competition. So for the Detroit Lions, they're averaging 36 points per game the last 4 weeks, and for the Green Bay team, 30 points per game on offense. Green Bay in domes this year, offense scored 16, 29, 24, 34, and 24 points. And remember, the 16 is game number 2 when Love was out after he got injured in the first game. So that was the first start ever for Willis for Green Bay, and they only scored 16 points. They also played 2 other warm weather games, Green Bay, 30 and 30 points at Tennessee and at Jacksonville. So Green Bay, again, 2 weeks ago, 38 points versus San Fran, 6 for 30 on third downs. Love, 2 touchdowns, no interception, and 2 sacks. Then last week, Love, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 2 sacks, and the team was 14 for 24 on third downs. So obviously they picked it up on third down. Love is healthy right now for Green Bay. Finally looks to be 100%. Definitely in last week's game, you could see that. But this year at home, Detroit at home, folks. The last 4 home games, 23 points, 52, 52, and 42. So this team's been a juggernaut at home especially. Number 1 scoring team in the NFL. We know how big the home field advantage is for many teams, but it is definitely for this Detroit Lions offense, and the crowd has been great. The key to this game, though, big time, is the defensive side of the ball for the Lions. As we know, they lost their heart and soul on on the defensive line in Hutchinson. That's a while ago. They've still been able to win since that, but it's getting worse now. They lost their stud linebacker, Anzalone. Now they've lost last week their linebacker, Rodriguez. He tore his ACL. Defensive tackle Anzorike battling a bad hamstring, probably not going to go in this short week. Defensive end Pascal battling knee injuries, probably not going to go here on Thursday. And last but not least, defensive tackle Wingo, who they added to the IR the other day, and now he's season-ending injury. So they have lost a ton on the defensive side of the ball. The secondary is young. They do lead the league in pass interferences in the secondary as well. So that bodes good news for possible extra scoring for Green Bay. And then, of course, you have the short week, which is always an advantage to offenses, as the defenses need a little more time to recover. With running backs, it's extra time to recover. But for Detroit, they have a two-headed monster. And they're coming off of an extra time because of the Thanksgiving game. So that helps there. They're not coming off a Sunday game. But when I look back to this Green Bay team, I told you all the great numbers from dome games this year and the two warm weather games. So when they're not playing outside in that frozen tundra in Lambeau Field, last year they played 3 dome stadium games. They scored 29, 33, and 48 points. And again, the last 3 Green Bay games this year were all in cold weather places. So that bodes well for the offense picking it up because, again, Love does finally look fully healthy from his injury early in the year. I expect that the cozy confines for both of these offenses will benefit both of the offenses. Not good news for the defenses. I expect this to be a high-flying, high-scoring game. So I'm going to go with the over 51, folks. Play the over in a high-scoring affair to start this Week 14 slate off in a fun way. We're going to bounce off the Monday night game that was crazy high-scoring. Nobody expected that. But I expected in this game for the free pick and the preview here. Hopefully we got you a little up-to-date on this game, a little better prepared. Take the over in a high-scoring game. Make sure you check out all our other videos and bookmark us at Gary Wins Videos. And we pray that you have a great, safe, and healthy holidays. And may all your wagers be winning ones. But most importantly, do not bet what you cannot afford to lose, folks. And have a great holiday. God bless.